How are you today?
I'm doing well, Joey. Thanks for having me.
All right, yeah, no problem, no problem. Um, so first and foremost, some things we didn't get to sort of address in our last interview. Talk about your senior season at St. Thomas.
Senior season. Ooh.
We'll get to the state championship later,
Okay.
but all the way up until the state championship, tell me how it was.
Okay. Ooh, man. If anybody I was on that team, they know nobody can ever compare to that team that we had, back in I think it was 2022. I believe it was 20,
2021.
yeah, 2021. Nobody can compare to that story that we had. What makes that story so great is because when we came in as freshmen, we all had these big dreams and aspirations, and everybody around us, kept on downplaying us. Nobody ever thought that we would ever gonna make something happen. Everybody thought that we were gonna destroy that St. Thomas legacy. Nobody had faith. Even
Hmm.
some of the coaches didn't even have faith in us. And then throughout the years, we kind of banded together and kind of built this brotherhood throughout the 4 years. And then come senior year, ooh, we also had to fight through, COVID-19. But during that senior year season, it was a great year. I'm not gonna lie, it was a great year. Personally, for me, I kind of had to fight through lots of trials and tribulations, but I'm still here to this day, and I'm still fighting. But that year, it was great. It was great. First game we played against St. Francis of Academy, and the reason why that game means so important, it should mean a lot to everyone else around the community, is because before we even came into that game, we had gotten shut down for COVID-19. So I think it was
Mm.
like 2 or 3 weeks
Yeah, I
or
remember. I
4 weeks
remember.
before. Yeah, we had gotten shut down for COVID-19, and I was one of the players who got affected severely by the COVID-19. I ended up losing like 30 pounds. I was
Ooh.
at 6'2", 230, 235, and then I ended up catching COVID-19, and I ended up losing about 30 pounds. And then players alongside with me that played on the field, they also got affected by COVID, which also led up to the whole program being shut down. So when the program got shut down, we weren't able to practice for, I think it was either a week or it was a few days. But then the coaches kind of came up with the plan that we needed to practice. We had to practice because the game was coming up, and it's either do or die. It's either we practice and we compete on Saturday afternoon, or we don't compete and we get our butts kicked on Saturday afternoon. So
Hmm.
they kind of came up with the system saying that we should allow certain players to come back if they weren't affected by the pandemic. They were allowed to come back and practice, and everybody else that got affected decided to wait until protocols, they got tested, et cetera. And I was in that position of where I had to wait, longer, because I actually got affected pretty bad by it. I lost a lot of pounds. I lost a good amount of my abilities, strength. I still had my speed, so I wasn't really too fed up about it. But the reason why it kind of like hits me till this day is because I worked my butt off during that summer. I
Hmm.
worked my butt off. I would work out, I'd say about 9 to 10 times a week during the summer. So I would, go to football training, then I'll hit the weight room right after. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so that's 8. And then Thursday I did the same thing, so that's 10. And then Friday we also work out, so that's 11. And then Saturday I just worked out again just because, you know, I just kept messing the momentum that I had throughout the
Yeah.
week. So I also hit another workout on Saturday, and I just kept on doing that every week until we kind of dialed down a little bit, and I ended up catching COVID, and then I lost everything. But then obviously I came back during the week we played against St. Francis, and everybody was still kind of coming back in, trying to regain the strength, the things and skills that we learned throughout you know the spring session and also the summer session. But then when I came back, I felt great. I looked around me, I seen everybody else was doing great. But the thing is, the position that I was playing, I had to be at a certain size or mass in order for me to compete with those men at St. Francis Academy. And throughout the week, I was practicing, and then at some point, Coach Taylor even said that I wasn't going to play as much, and the same with Kyrie Samuel. He told us that we weren't going to play as much, so that we were going to what's it called, just dial it back down for a bit because we both got affected by COVID pretty badly.
Yeah.
But then something like happened to him during practice, and he said, "Nope, nope, never mind. You guys are playing on Saturday." And then boom, we practice, train, whatever. Boom, came Saturday afternoon. First play of the game. I'm lined up. Quarterback on the other team on St. Francis Academy, he gave a bad snap. I got off the ball. Boom, I'm chasing the quarterback. I tackled the quarterback. I stripped the ball. Boom, then Mayu, Jason Hammond, Kyrie Samuel, Khalil Hunter, Bam Bam, aka Jordan Smith. Everybody basically that was on defense came pursuing to the ball, and then we ended up getting the ball back and scoring. And that's how the game started off. We started off the game with the turnover, with points on the board, and that really basically set the tone for the game. And then that's when I knew that we were going to win, even though throughout the game it was kind of a battle back and forth as we expected it to be. But I knew that we were going to win because it's just that team. We were like,
Yeah.
everything was just emotion. One word, like one sound, one step. Everything was just like done in one motion, and we ended up what's it called winning that game by two scores, I believe. So,
Hmm.
but that team,
Yeah. Now, yeah, because I remember that game as well. I was running the scoreboard for that game, and that was electrifying. Because every year St. Thomas they have like first game of the year they have a game on ESPN, and that is when they really want to put their best foot forward. At least I believe. And then
yeah,
when they do that, I mean, because a lot of the times when they have been on ESPN, they've won. Unfortunately, they lost this last year against St. John Bosco. But, you know, still, even though that game, it was a hard fought game. And I feel like that game, St. Francis 2021, that set the tone for the rest of the season. So
hmm
now, what was it like winning the state championship that year as a senior against Tampa Bay Tech at Drive Pink Stadium? Basically, a home game for us, if you think about it. And you know, we were 13-1 going into that game, and you were a key piece to the puzzle, for the defense. So tell me about that.
winning the state championship is one of the greatest feelings that you will ever experience as a high school athlete because as soon as you graduate from the high school level, it's not promised that you're going to ever, win something big like that again in the college level. And also as well, you're also surrounded by lots of great men that was just willing to do whatever it takes to get to that moment. And during that playoff run, that we had, and also the state championship game, it was a great feeling. You know, it was a great feeling. But at the same time, we all wished that we were challenged a little bit more. And it's kind of crazy to say because, yeah, we got, you know, the medal, we got our rings, we got the trophy, you know, we kept the legacy going. But at the same time, we also wanted a little bit more of a challenge because we came out with one message after that loss we had in Jesuit in the beginning of the season. We had one message that we weren't going to lose any other game by any means. We were going to do what it takes to make sure that we complete, you know, the mission. The original mission was to win national championship and states, but obviously the Natties didn't go as planned, but we ended up winning the state championship, you know, brought the trophy back to know the city, to Broward County. But
Mm-hmm.
during that playoff run with the state championship game as well, it was great. It was great. But at the same time, it was also kind of, I wouldn't say heartbreaking, but it was also, it was kind of like, ah, I wish we could go by slower type of moment because just the energy the team had, both
Yeah.
on all three phases, special teams, offense, defense, the coaching staff, hey, the student section, the fans, the parents,
Yeah.
that energy couldn't be matched. I don't care what anybody says, the energy just couldn't be matched whatsoever. And during, you know, the state championship game, you know, we all had our last moments, you know, standing up, you know, talking to each other, giving each other like words of wisdom to like take in so we could go out and execute what we needed to do. And it was just one of those moments like, yeah, we won, but just we just wanted like a more of a challenge and wish that, you know, it could have went by even slower because once you know you have boys by your side that you know that they will go out with war with you and will be able to go up and go down with no matter what happens, then that's when it's just like, why would you want to erase that type of feeling and consciousness that you have experienced with the team throughout the playoff run and the state championship game? So overall, it was a great one. It was a great run. You know, we won, got the once again the medal, the ring,
Mm-hmm.
the trophy, and I just don't think that that energy will ever be matched again for ourselves that played on that team back in 2021.
Okay. That's a great message. You know, I'm glad that you brought up the national championship because the thing is that well, I was really confused by it. The Geico National Championship, which is in like Las Vegas every year, it was the same week as our state championship game. So it's not like they could have selected us. And I
Yeah,
think actually that year Chaminade ended up going instead. But the thing was that I mean, obviously it's changed now. Since they were a 3A school, their state championship was the week before us. So they
mm-hmm.
got to go.
Yeah,
I mean, and like, look, no shade on Chaminade. I mean, they're still really good, but like I just felt like if we would have been selected, I think that you guys would have shut it down out there in Vegas. Had the schedule been worked in a way where we could have went, I feel like you guys would have had a great performance out there in Vegas. So um now talk about your freshman year at Brown University.
freshman year at Brown University, it was a very humble experience. And the reason why it was a very humble experience because it felt like I was entering a different world that I was never introduced before, ever.
Hmm?
Because when you're back at home, you're home. And you're comfortable with everything around you. Well, I wouldn't say comfortable, but it's just like I'm not the type to mainly like, travel as much unless I have, a tournament to go out and compete for whatsoever. But like you're at home, your friends are at home, everything is just fine, and I honestly wanted to challenge myself freshman year by sacrificing certain things that I did in high school when I came to college, because in order for you to grow, you have to figure out, the pinpoints in your life that kind of held you back from achieving the most that you could ever achieve so that you can able to grow and excel as a being. So my freshman year, it was a humbling experience because not only with the academics, but also with the athletics. Because, like I said, when you're coming from a team that prided themselves on, I forgot what was the saying. It's like one sound, one movement, or something like that. I didn't really, experience that brotherhood feeling when I
Okay.
came up, when I come here for like freshman year. And then on top of that, for academics, I wouldn't say it was extremely tough, but there were different points in my, during my year where I had to, face the facts that other kids around me were ahead of me, and that I
Mm-hmm.
had to, really put in extra and more work than they did during that time, because during high school, they were probably already getting ready for classes and courses or whatever they wanted to concentrate in high school and maybe in middle school as well. But in my position, I was all worried about, becoming the best player that I can be, also getting the good grades and figuring out a way to get to school so that my parents didn't have to pay anything. So I was kind of in a different ballpark than most of these kids around me. And I had just to, suck it up that, yep, these kids are ahead of me, but it is what it is. I got to go back to square one and make my way up there. So that was the challenging part with the academics. And then also adding to the athletics, we didn't really have a successful season. So, coming for a program that takes pride in winning, it's willing to do what it takes to win, literally doing what it takes to win. And then you have the coaching staff that's, we had like the Marvel Avengers as a coaching staff. I don't care what anybody says. We have the best coaching staff in the country. And if anybody wants to debate on me on that, we can debate on that. I don't mind. I got time. Right. But coming in here is just, I didn't get that same sensational feeling that I felt back at St. Thomas. It kind of felt like I was going backwards in a way, but at the same time, I was moving forward, because at the same time, you want the journey to be tough. You want it to be hard because that's how you grow. If it wasn't tough or if it was easy, then it wouldn't make the journey so promising, and also wouldn't make the successes as well. So since it wouldn't make the successes great, because like towards the end of the year, I kind of found that oneness with myself, and I began navigating through the system much smoothly, and that's when I knew I was growing. And now to present day, we're definitely moving forward, moving towards, like, we've definitely taken a big step forward within the program. And also I've been doing a lot better academically, because then once again you just got to lock in, take time to move yourself away from certain crowds and certain people so that you can grow as a being. And then you could also take a step back and look at why you weren't growing and why you weren't accomplishing the goals that you want to accomplish, and why aren't you doing the things that you said you were going to do, right? But overall, the freshman year, it was definitely a humbling experience, which I'm not complaining about, because it made me the man that I am today. And without that humbling experience, who knows where I would have been today. But yeah, overall, it was just a humbling experience.
All right. That's a very genuine response. That's pretty good. Um, Now let me ask you this. Do you think that Florida has the best talent when it comes to football? Now, I ask you this, the reason why is because the NFL draft is tonight. On the day that we're recording this, it's April 25th, 2024. The NFL draft is tonight, and a lot of not just tonight, but like later on in the draft, a lot of Floridians are going to get their chance to experience the NFL. So I ask you, do you think that Florida has the best talent when it comes to football?
Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. If you read the statistics, I don't know if there are any studies or whatever. If you read the statistics, numbers don't lie. I'm pretty sure you have IMG Academy, then it goes St. Thomas, then Heritage, or I think,
Central.
yeah, Central. Hey, numbers don't lie. So
Mhm.
we definitely do have the best talent in football, not just because numbers don't lie, but at the same time, everybody takes pride in whatever they do.
Okay.
Everybody takes pride in what they do, and everybody's out there willing to go get it, no matter what. We got some dogs inside Florida.
Yes.
No matter what position that we're playing, we have dogs inside Florida. We may be undersized for a certain position, but I promise you, we will step forward. We
Yeah.
will step forward and make sure our name is heard. So, no doubt about it. We
Yeah.
have the best talent when it comes to football. And once again, numbers don't lie. Argue with the numbers, not me.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Now, last question before we end off with this interview. Now, in your last interview, or in our last interview, you talked about how you want to spread positivity, in the world after you're done playing. Now, let me ask you this. How would you like to spread positivity to the world while you're playing sports and after you're done as well?
Creation, influencing, and motivating. And the reason why I say creating is because we all have the power to create something.
Mm-hmm.
We all have that creativity skill within us, but it's up to you to find that skill within you to make something happen. And then when you do create that certain something, you also have the power to influence because everybody looks up to a creator one way or another. So as soon as you start building like a platform or a fan base or whatever it is, whatever you start, people is going to want to know how you did it, why did you did it, what did it take you to make that happen. So that's when influencing comes in, where you get to motivate the youth. As like I said, the youth is the future of our country. So if we
Yes.
have people going towards down the wrong direction, if we continue on, I'm not saying that's happening now. I mean, if you want to make a stance on it, maybe I guess look and see what type of influencers we have. But if you have a country that has influencers that are constantly doing the negative things, that are pushing um bad agendas, just basically pushing things that aren't right for the brains of the youth, then in a few years from now, if that ends up portraying to the country and it ends up residing in a bad result, then you have to look about why, what happened, who was leading this geographical mass or people or country at that time. You have to look at what are certain things that are being pushed out to actually help others to create and to influence and motivate others to become the best version of themselves. Because we all, once again, we all have that power to create, but it's up to you to find that power within you to create. and then to influence, so that you could create more creators around the globe. Because we all are special.
Yeah.
We may have a different skin color. We may come from a different background. We may have different parents whatsoever, but we all have that ability to create, and that creation leads to evolution. So create, influence, and then motivate. And then what I mean by motivate is figure out a way to make people to react to a certain situation so that they can take action. Because once you figure out a way to target the pinpoints and emotions of human beings or whoever that you're targeting, then that can also enlarge in the flame inside of them, which can lead to them taking action and taking the proper step. So how do I plan on doing that? Creation. Whatever I plan on creating, whatever I'm building up, I plan to make sure that it brings value amongst the masses. And then I plan on influencing, talking about how did I do it? How did it come to be? Why did I make it happen? Why did I do it? What's the reasoning behind it? And then motivating, spreading the news that it's possible. Don't let anybody tell you that it's impossible. Because there's lots of things that have gone in the world during the ancient times that today can't even be studied. We can't even fathom how it even came to be. But best believe it happened, which means it's possible. So I'd say creation, influence, and motivation.
That was amazing, dude. That was amazing. I'm speechless. That I can't form words. That was so empowering. Michael Reniot, thank you so much for doing this, man. I know it's your second time here, and his links will be in the description. Make sure you guys go follow him on Instagram. Actually, you can shout it out right now. Say the username.
Oh yes, you guys can follow me on Instagram. It's Mike Reniot, and I also have a workout page which is _only results _ and on that page I have personalized workouts that I've been going throughout the football season. I kind of just took the step to just kind of bring it out to the masses and community so that people can possibly partake in. And I'm also coming out with an ebook, which is my personal workout that I've been doing for quite some time, that helps me become where I'm at today. And yeah, basically it.
Okay. All right, guys. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.